From TDO Studios in Portland, Oregon, welcome to The Dangerous Ones.
The shots been fired, but the war ain't won. These white boys with money better learn how to run. The wall hits your back, the blood's on your tongue. You and me, baby, with a dangerous
Welcome, everybody, to The Dangerous Ones. Let me start by introducing everybody. On my left is the award-winning co-founder of 11 Films, also known as my stunningly beautiful wife, and my best friend, Tiffany, the trailblazer drastic, everyone.
Hello.
Yay.
Thank you.
And joining us via Zoom, we'll talk about that in just a moment. He runs the largest digital field team in the world as the executive director of Demcast USA, and my dear friend, Nick, the class cutter Knutson, everyone. Woo!
Yay!
Thank you.
And I am your old pal, Jim, also of 11 Films. Welcome, everybody. We've got a great episode for everybody today. Nick, as always, is going to run down the latest headlines, and then we're going to dive into our dangerously deep discussion about how the Trump administration is screwing us from every direction.
Shocker.
In culture, we're going to touch on SNL's 50th anniversary show, and believe it or not, that's going to lead us into a discussion about nanoplastics. How's that going to happen? Stick around. And then in Danger, which is becoming our most popular segment, Tiffany's got more calls from the People's Hotline, and boy, I can't wait to hear them. Every week, I'm always like, Nick and I are geeked out to hear the newest calls.
Every day I come in, I'm like, ooh, I get to sit down with a new batch.
That's right. If you'd like to call the People's Hotline, you can do so by calling 503-212-4600. Again, that is 503-212-4600. If calling's not your thing, you can always email us at shout@thedangerousones.com. That is SHOUT @thedangerousones.com. And folks, I've lost my notes here. Oh no, here we go. Sorry. And I don't have a big enough desk. Okay. Apparently not. So, and folks, please hit subscribe on YouTube. And when you do so, please select all. And then also finally, please subscribe to our Substack, the Teal and Orange Report. It's free, but if you can chip in $6 to help support this show, you'll get exclusive articles, videos, sneak peeks, and a whole lot more. And don't tell anybody, I'm working on something for the Substack this week, and we'll talk about that a little later. And again, that's the Teal and Orange Report on Substack. And welcome, everybody. Nick, why are you not here? You're class cutting. I said it right. What is going on?
I had a family obligation, so I'm hanging out with some family down in California, and am super excited to try out our Zoom link here, and make sure that it works for when we have guests in the future. So
very important.
We won't get into it too much, but it has been a complete bastard. It has been a bastard.
There has been a roadblock every single day, I'm done now. So that's it. No more roadblocks. I'm claiming it.
It's so true.
Many props to Jim for helping us work through all of our technical difficulties.
Never quits. Patience of Job. He can do anything.
I don't know, man. But thank you so much, Nick. How is the sunshine in California? Is it sunny?
Is it at least warm?
Ooh, I will tell you, it is glorious. It is 65 to 68 degrees down here, sunny, just absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Sorry
Perfect.
to everybody, pretty much everywhere else in the United States.
Okay. That's all right.
Well, back here in Portland, it's rainy and shitty like always, gray, like my life.
Gonna have 3 inches of rain in the next 3 days, but
I know.
That's okay.
Did you guys see the Portland forecast for next week?
Rain and cold. Oh God, it's not going to snow, is it?
No, it's supposed to be like 65 and sunny.
Oh my God.
He's going to bring it back with him.
We'll take it. Oh, yeah.
I am. I'm bringing it back.
Bring it back, Nick.
Stick it in your jacket pocket. Take it to the meeting.
You're welcome.
We were going to put a photo of you on your chair over here because we miss you so much. We haven't seen you've been gone now a few days, and we've been missing. It's weird not having you here.
It is weird. It's weird not being there.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're able to join us via Zoom. And a couple things just to kind of catch everybody up on what's been going on with the Dangerous Ones is a couple days ago, we finally got our act together and had a photo shoot.
I know.
We had our old friend Paul Brown come in. Paul did Tiff and I's wedding.
Yeah.
Paul also did when I was in a band back in an earlier life. He did those photographs. And he came in the studio. And we haven't released any of the photographs yet, but it's going to be an exclusive for our Substack folks. We've got a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage from that.
Oh.
It's a lot of fun. I saw a little bit of it yesterday. I'm going to piece that together, and we're going to get that onto the Substack for everybody to take a look at. At least you'll get to see it first, and then we'll launch it for everybody to see in another week or two or something.
I had so much fun that night. I love working with Paul. He's the best.
He was great. And
he was awesome.
Yeah. Poor Nick had to grab a flight, like literally at the second we were done.
Yeah. They didn't even get to hang out and go to the after party.
Right. Yeah. That was a bummer. But that was a really fun night.
How was the flight? Good?
It was great. I had the whole row to myself.
Oh
my God, really?
That never happens.
I know. Yeah, it's like the one good thing that's happened in 2025 so far.
Hey, I'll take what I can get, right?
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, lately, every plane Tiff and I have taken in the last couple years has been just completely packed.
Sardines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, one time, I'll just tell this really quick story. This is naughty, but Tiff and I were on a plane, I think back to Portland. We were in Chicago or something, and they let us. It's one of those flights where you pick your own seat. So Tiff and I, it's a 3-seater. So she took the outside, I took the window, and we acted like we were talking in the middle the whole time. So as people were filtering in, they thought somebody was sitting there or was going to be sitting there. And listen, to be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to work. I thought somebody was like, hey, can I sit there? And which we would have definitely said, of course.
You're not supposed to tell anyone.
No, I'm trying to help our audience. If you don't want somebody sitting next to you, but you're flying with somebody else and you're in a 3-seater, have them on the outside. You sit next to the window and you both crouch over like you're almost going to kiss, and you just keep talking. And if you do that long enough, people think, oh, like the person who's sitting there is like in the bathroom or something like that. So, and they just don't want to bother you.
Yeah.
So they just keep going. Now, again, if somebody would have said, hey, is anybody sitting there? We would have said, yes, of course somebody's sitting here. Please continue on. Get the fuck out of here.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a life hack.
This is a life.
Well, not anymore, because now everybody's going to know.
Well, I would say, like I said, I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah.
It worked, and I was quite happy to have the extra legroom.
Nice.
Yeah. In our defense, we were on like flight number 4 of like a 7-day, 10-day trip or something like that. And for once I was like, I need, I'm 6 foot tall, I'm 6 feet tall. So I needed a little room.
Like spider legs. He needs like 2 leg rooms.
Exactly. Also this week, I'd like to say like, hey, we went viral, guys. We went viral. The Trillionaire video hit 1.8 million views on Instagram and over 600K on TikTok.
Wow, that's amazing.
Not bad.
That's great.
Listen, it's not about views, right? But it certainly helps like a starting out podcast like ourselves to have viral videos.
Yeah. And
we got some great comments.
I was going to say, what does it say? That those are the ones that are taking off.
I know.
Yeah.
These little short ones that we're putting on the vertical formats. And I think we're going to have some more from this podcast on the vertical formats. Also, we released vertically the Bailey call.
Oh, yeah, right.
Bailey from Michigan,
I love him so much.
He was fantastic.
Fuck all!
Fuck all!
He's like our unofficial correspondent out there.
Yeah, the fuck all correspondent.
Right.
Yeah. So that was kind of exciting. It was nice to finally get a viral video on the podcast, and God, it does wonders. I mean, we have just been growing on vertical formats.
Yeah.
And but I would also say, like, going on the Jesse Dollamore show was huge. And by the way, congratulations to Jesse and his wife Brittany. They just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yay!
That's insane. That's
Congrats, you guys.
Crazy.
Yay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's so
wow.
great.
What an enormous feat to hit us.
know.
Oh,
That's hard.
Dude, yeah.
That's hard.
We're on episode 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're on episode 2000 something.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
more.
You can do it in a sleep. No.
Yeah. But fantastic. And I think it's probably time to get to the news, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, here's a little news intro for everybody.
News.
Oh, it's this lady.
The fucking news. The fucking news starts now. News.
All right, lady, knock it up. All right. All right, Nick, what is in the news today?
All right. Well, consumer prices increased 0.5% in January, the biggest increase in over a year and a half, overshooting expectations and serving as a warning sign that President Trump's economic plan might not be as worker and consumer friendly as he indicated on the campaign trail.
You don't say.
In January, costs for shelter, food, and gasoline rose, and the consumer price index shot up 3% year over year. With the inflationary impacts of Trump's tariffs still looming on the horizon, are we destined for more skyrocketing prices later in 2025?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with yes as well.
That is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Last night I was in Safeway, and I posted it on Blue Sky, a picture of the eggs and the prices. That I hope people don't think that was just something I found on the internet. I was literally standing in Safeway. I looked at the egg prices, which we've been so busy with this podcast. We haven't even been shopping.
The last time I
for
bought
groceries.
eggs was like a month and a half ago.
Easily,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, with the kids gone, we just don't,
I know.
you know.
We're empty nesters now.
Yeah.
So. The eggs were $8.49 at Safeway. I was like, holy shit! Thanks, Trump.
$8.49. What the fuck?
Do you want a little snapshot of where we are as a country?
Please.
I worry about harping on the egg prices because part of that is due to the culling of chickens, who are afflicted with bird flu. And I worry that a Trump administration who is super concerned about their image will say, hey, stop culling those chickens. We need the egg prices to drop, and then we get another bird flu pandemic. So,
You know what?
Jesus Christ,
probably-
that is so dark. Oh my God.
Jesus, you have a dark mind, Nick. Jesus.
Hey,
I think you need to come back. You
Yeah.
can't be out there by yourself.
it's 2025 baby.
Yeah.
And the truth is Nick is absolutely right.
Yep.
Of course they're going to do that. I still blame Trump,
Forever.
But to wrap that up, so prices are up. And I love that he tried to say there's like a week or two ago, he goes, oh, the Biden inflation still's going strong or something like that. He did on his shitty platform that nobody's on.
Yeah.
He posted that and it was like, oh, no, sweetheart. You own this now.
Yeah.
It's your inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what are you going to say when it just keeps getting worse? Then
Right.
what? Then
Yeah.
what are you going to say?
Right. Nick, what else is
They'll keep blaming Biden.
Oh, for sure.
They'll
for
keep
sure.
blaming
Poor
Biden.
Joe. God.
That's all they got. Nick, what else is in the news?
All right, so let's move on to the health agencies. Termination letters landed in the mailboxes of hundreds of employees at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Food and Drug Administration, and the National Institutes of Health. Among some of the workers fired at the CDC, PhD-trained scientists tasked with helping local and state officials respond to outbreaks, employees who ensured that medical devices for patients with cancer and diabetes are safe, and a public health worker stationed at an international airport who enforces regulations to prevent animals carrying rabies and other infectious diseases from entering the United States. These are all, of course, things that we probably shouldn't care that much about.
My God. And I think we have a little clip for this one.
We sure
Tiff,
do.
what do we got?
Let's hear it.
I mean, we've seen cuts at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, right? The main public health agency for this country. HHS has an emergency preparedness and response unit, which is a lot of times on the front line of things like the bird flu response and monitoring Ebola overseas, that kind of thing. There were cuts in that office as well over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, my God, he's making all these cuts. I mean, we're gearing up for, what I would consider, COVID 5.0. It's going to be something crazy is going to happen in the next 4 years. Mark my words, and it's going to be bad. There's no way to sugarcoat that. You can't fire all these people and expect everything's just going to be better.
Mm-hmm. It's the United States government isn't a business. You can't run it the way. Also, these two people, they run shit into the ground. That's what they do. That's what their brand is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening here. It's just everything is, they're going to break everything. They're going to break it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Nick?
Well, on that note, only weeks after the biggest air disaster in decades, the Trump administration terminated roughly 400 workers at the Federal Aviation Administration this week. Firings reportedly included personnel hired for FAA radar, landing, and navigational aid maintenance. That kind of sounds important. According to one terminated worker, the firings leave the remaining workforce in the lurch and overtaxed.
28-year-old Jason King was at FAA for 8 months.
When you were doing your job at FAA, did you believe you were helping to make the public safer?
I truly did.
King, an Army veteran with a service-related disability, says he worries cuts could be too deep.
Even for the people that are still there, their workload has drastically increased. And I think that's where a big part of my concern for public safety comes in.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit of a nervous Nelly when I fly. I'm not super confident. I've never been a great flyer. Tiffany knows this about me. I've gotten better over the years, but I don't care if you're a good flyer or a bad flyer. We don't have enough people there now.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
It feels like, I understand the redundancy in the United States government, sure, and I get the red tape and all, but you can't just get rid of everyone. There are reasons these systems are in place. And when you start picking them off, that's how shit starts to go bad. Look at all the accidents that we've been having.
Yeah.
All the plane crashes.
There's another one today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nick, what about you?
I mean, there's a common thread here between, if you look at the CDC cuts and the FAA cuts and all these other cuts across agencies that are designed to help ensure that bad things don't happen to Americans broadly. Not even necessarily the programs that we depend on, but some of the safeguards that the federal workforce helps to provide for everyday Americans. And our last news story here kind of folds right into that. So I'll go there.
And this doesn't really feel like we're making America great again. How is this making America great? All these cuts, these accidents. Do you know what the hell is going to happen now?
And real quick, he's trying to say, he's doing the whole fucking horse shit about, I'm draining the swamp. No, you're fucking breaking America is what you're doing. Listen, mm-hmm. I'm sure there's stuff that could be cut. No question about it. We're probably long fucking overdue. But listen.
This ain't the way.
This ain't the way, my guy. This ain't the way. You need to be smart about it. I don't need Elon Musk and AI coming in going, this is how we fix it.
Right.
Yeah, dude, we're fucked.
And
okay, yeah.
What industries are going to absorb these workers? Where are they going to go?
Yeah, that's a great point too, Watch, unemployment's going to go up. It's going to be brutal. Yeah.
If that's even going to be a fucking thing.
Yeah. Nick, take us into our dangerously deep discussion.
All right, we're going to start our discussion by talking about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This is an agency that was created in response to the 2008 financial crisis and the ensuing Great Recession. And it was set up to protect Americans from credit card companies, mortgage providers, and debt collectors. And since its inception in 2011, CFPB has fielded over 7.7 million consumer complaints and returned over $20 billion into the pockets of regular people. Just this last year, CFPB capped most credit card late fees at $8, capped most bank overdraft fees at $5, and banned the inclusion of medical bills on credit reports so that people's medical debt won't count against them when they try and take out a loan. These are all great things that help Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Trump administration is on a mission to destroy the agency, making clear that if they can't wholesale get rid of it without an act of Congress, they will gut it from the inside. In early February, Trump fired the agency's director and installed Project 2025 author Russell Vought at the top. And he immediately told all CFPB workers to go home, shut down the building, pulled down the agency's website and shut down their Twitter account.
Oh my God.
Because they just can't help themselves. Last week, Republican lawmakers introduced legislation to overturn that $5 cap on overdraft fees.
Oh my God.
Arguing that higher fees, quote, promote financial discipline and responsibility.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So the CFPB is an example of an agency that has been literally fighting for the American people. They literally take complaints from anybody and process those and deal with these mortgage lenders and banks and try and get, resolution to the issues that everyday Americans are having. So the big discussion here today is, and this is something that we need to get across to Americans, Trump ran on helping working Americans, and literally everything that he's doing is the exact opposite.
Yeah, I wish they would sit every Republican down and sit them on a couch and tell them, you tell me how it makes sense to increase late fees, increase overdraft fees and stuff like that, and how that's good for you and good for every other American. Tell me how that's possible. You fucking got to be kidding me.
Every time the little guy gets a win, right? You get your insulin capped, you get your bank fees capped, you get your overdraft fees capped. Every fucking time we get anything, Republicans, when they get in power, they take it and they break it and they tell you to go fuck yourself. And then it takes 25 years to clean it up and then they break it again.
Yeah, and really quick, under the guise of what Nick just said, we're doing it because it promotes financial responsibility. I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, fuckface. I didn't realize that was your job. You know what I mean? I thought you guys were the freedom guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nick, where do you stand on that?
Oh my gosh! I mean, so and on the note of Musk and Trump, Twitter as a company has been floating the idea of starting having like a financial services component to it, like almost a lending type component to it. Gee, I wonder why Elon Musk would want to kneecap the CFPB as Twitter is exploring that option. The FAA has had some level of regulation over SpaceX, right? I mean, this is not. These aren't random choices that are happening here.
Yeah, these are strategic choices that they're making. Yeah.
You're going to loot my country and then you want me to pay you to get that money back.
Yeah.
You want me to be indebted to you? Are you fucking out of your mind?
Yeah. Oh, and
that's how I know you don't know how any of this works. Like you've never been a regular person in your entire fucking life.
Yeah. Coming from two people who have never been a regular person in their entire lives.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. And I go back to what they do to win elections is they say abortion, DEI, be mad about this, be mad about that. But what they really want, immigrants are bad, all this stuff. But what they really want is all the money, and it's just like George Carlin. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. They're going to get all of it. Mm-hmm. And boy, folks, if we didn't see it in the first 4 years of him, we are absolutely going to see it in the next 4 years. I really, I'm with a lot of people out there, and I don't mean to sound unnecessary alarm whistles, but I'm curious what kind of democracy we're going to have left, if anything, after 4 years of this horse shit.
I don't. This is the thing with me and Republicans, is you're going to stand there and profess that you're this Christian, right? And you believe in the 10 Commandments. Do you know how billionaires got to be billionaires? They lie, cheat, and steal. What are 3 things in the list of 10 things? And now you guys are gathering around them and you're boosting them up and you're talking to us like we're fucking stupid. Like we can't see you. We can see you.
Yeah, no, and they're doing it in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
And listen, I consider myself, at least quasi-Christian, and you can say what you want. I got my own relationship with God. You can take that or leave it. I don't care. It's my relationship with God. And I'll tell you what, no matter what your relationship is, you can't do those things.
Yeah, and it's like the caller said last week that he said it's the farthest away from the teachings of Jesus Christ that you could possibly get.
That's exactly right. And one more thing is, real quick, and then we'll get to Nick, is back when we started 11 Films, and Nick, you too. I mean, I don't know if you want to comment on this, but back when we started 11 Films, everybody and their mother was telling us, you got to start a PAC. You got to start a PAC. You got to start a super PAC. And you know what we did? Not that.
Yeah.
We partnered with a nonprofit because we were like, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't.
I just morally, I couldn't do it and you couldn't do it. Nick, I know that I mean, why did you start a nonprofit, Nick?
Yeah, same reason. But and also just because we were, Demcast is an activist organization.
Yeah,
we wanted to have credibility with folks on the grassroots,
exactly.
who would be sort of doing the work collectively. And Super PAC said, it's all dark. It's dark money, and that just makes people feel rightfully uncomfortable. So.
Yeah, and the reason why this matters in this discussion is because when you really peel back the onion, it's decisions like this. What is the Citizens United decision that led us to things where unlimited dark money can go into politics, thus unlimited crooked people can be in politics now. We've got a corrupt Supreme Court, at least half of them are, here we are, folks.
And guess what they're planning on doing now? Like the Republican Congress is talking about their tax and spending bill, and their plan is up to $4.5 trillion in tax cuts over the next decade. Almost all of it going to the filthiest, wealthiest people in the country, lifting, by the way, the debt ceiling by $4 trillion, because Republicans love to talk about the debt ceiling, right? How are they going to pay for that? Well, spending cuts. They want to reduce federal spending by $1.5 to $2 trillion over the next 10 years, cutting $880 billion from healthcare spending, reducing education and workforce spending by $330 billion. I mean, they're literally reverse Robin Hooding the United States. It's crazy.
And when folks from now on, listen to your old pal Jim. Listen to what I'm telling you. Whenever you hear them say the Republican tax cut plan, just think grift 2.0. That's what this is going to be. It's going to be a huge grift for Republicans and their rich friends. It's like whenever you see those, there's some great memes and stuff out there that show every time a Democrat's in office, the deficit goes down. Every time a Republican's in office, it goes up. It's like, you're not so slick, guys.
And I think too, part of the problem is our party is still operating like the rules are the same. Like this is the same gentleman's agreement. It's been all these years, and it's just going to get decided over like a backdoor whiskey deal. This guy is not. You're not in the club either.
Yeah.
Wait till they figure it out.
Yeah. So it's we're getting hit from all angles. So I guess the question is Nick, what can people do about it?
Well, one thing that we would love for everybody to do is call the People's Hotline. Tell us your stories about how these massive cuts are impacting your life and your family. That's 503-212-4600. We have and whether or not you're one of these federal workers or you're somebody who's feeling the downstream effects of these federal cuts, this is going to end up. It's not just the federal worker. That's the first line, but that's not. It's all going to hit us in various ways over the coming months. So keep those stories coming. The other thing that folks can do, our partners at Americans for Financial Reform, this was an organization that worked with Elizabeth Warren to help set up this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They are looking for stories that they can share both with lawmakers and on social media and across their communications channels. And you can go to the bit.ly/CFPB stories. We'll show that URL, and please share your stories. If you were helped by the CFPB, if you were one of the millions of people who submitted a complaint about one of these financial services companies, and the CFPB helped you scratch back a little bit of money from these massive banks that are trying to screw everybody. We need to be super loud about that, because we really want to try and protect the CFPB right now.
Yeah, and I would also add to not only calling the People's Hotline that you can do, you can also write to us at shout@thedangerousones.com. And by doing so, you can also send us video links that you want us to help amplify. Again, that's SHOUT at thedangerousones.com. Send us Dropbox links, Google Drive links. If you've already posted a video onto your social media, send us a link to that.
And with media being compromised now, the only place you can go to get the truth and get really what's going on out there, independent media, alternative media like this podcast. Call into the hotline, send us an email, because no one's coming. Like, we're out here, we're all out here, you guys. So we need to know what's going on.
That's a great point. Nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming.
We've got to save ourselves.
Yep.
So, well, great discussion, Nick. That was fantastic. I mean, it was a fucking bummer, but hey,
Right.
listen, there's gonna be a lot of bummers over the next 4 years.
That's like I'm like the Grim Reaper on this show,
Hey, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna sting. 2025 is gonna sting.
I'm the news guy. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Just before we go into culture, there is a blackout coming on the 28th of February. Nick, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, so there's a pretty grassroots call for people to walk out of the economy on February 28th as a sign to the major corporations that people mean business and that we're paying attention. I don't know a ton about the group that's sort of originally proposed this, but I think, whether you jump in or don't jump in on this, pick any day and deny the corporate overlords their money. As far as I'm concerned, that sounds absolutely like a great plan. But if you decide to jump in, if you don't decide to jump in, I do think that this is an example of the type of collective action that we are going to need to be taking. And so, just keep paying attention, keep staying attuned to sort of grassroots actions that are happening like this.
Yeah, and let me just say this really quick to anybody who's going to say something in the comments, because I already know what's going to happen. They're like, that don't work, dude. That stuff doesn't work. It never works. Well, then you tell me what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
You tell me what. Then give me an idea. Listen, I'm not saying it's going to work or it's not going to work. I'm saying let's fucking try anything, man. You know what I mean?
And maybe this is a signal to us to see what can we do together collectively on one day as a mass action. Let's just see.
Yeah, let's
fuck them. Let's just see.
Yeah, fuck. Well, but again, I'm trying to say, like, you come to me with a better idea, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people complaining, about they're just trying to get your goat anyways, but in these comments. But it's like, then you come to me with answers. Don't come with that doesn't work. Come to me with, no, you know what? Instead of doing that, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I'm way more open to that. Go ahead, Nick.
It doesn't work until it does.
That's right.
So,
That's right. That's right. So anyways, if you want to take part in that is February 28th. That's all day long. And there you go. I think it's time for a little culture. CULTURE. Okay. All right. Well, so the other night was Saturday Night Live's. They celebrated their 50th anniversary with a bang, rolling out a star-studded spectacle that revisited its legacy of sharp satire and comedy, and it was a lot of fun. Did you get to see it, Nick?
I saw bits and pieces. Yep.
Yep.
It was pretty
great.
fun.
It was all over the internet. It was a lot of fun. I swear that audience for the 50th anniversary was like they had fucking, not Mick Jagger. Who am I thinking? Keith Richards.
Yeah.
They rolled him out, man, you know?
It's wild to just watch all of that and realize like that's been going on our entire lives.
Yeah.
And when you were a little kid, like you would sneak down the hall and like listen in on the skits, and think, oh, it's so adult. It's so been around forever. No, it was brand new. That's why everybody was watching it.
Yeah. Tiffany and I were born in 1975, so we've been around since SNL.
SNL was the day before my birthday.
Right. It premiered the day before your birthday.
Yeah.
And so it has been such a part of our lives growing up. In fact, this is true, and you can make fun of us if you want to, Nick. When we watch SNL and that theme music comes on after the intro, we cry.
Yeah.
We do. We cry a little bit. We kind of like get a little teary-eyed because it means so much to us, and our parents watched it.
There's not a lot of American institutions like that left, especially in entertainment. And TV and all these mediums are dying because the digital age is here. So it feels very like, America,
And you know what was great? They did a really great montage of politically incorrect skits that they had done over the years that they quote unquote didn't age well. And I thought two things. I thought that was the bravest thing they had done.
Yeah.
And it was also one of the funniest fucking things that they played all night. It was like probably 5 minutes long and it was hilarious. And you're like, and the whole time you're watching it too, you're like, ooh, and you can't get away with saying that now,
and
man.
Super smart because it sucks all of the ammo out of the room. So now the right can't come in and be like, well, remember when you did this? They're like, we did.
I wonder now, we have a friend that we knew since, Tiff and I have known each other since we were kids. But I know one of our middle school friends, I saw him post online one time a couple years ago. I think actually when Trump was president the first time. And he was like, I'm not watching SNL no more because he's a Trump. No.
Oh, okay.
No, we won't use names, but he posted online that he was like, I'm not watching SNL no more. It's unwatchable anymore because he's a Trumper, And I was wondering, how many people on the right watch SNL anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know, because they've taken quite a stand in the road. Like, listen, we're not fucking...
They're not fucking around.
They're not fucking around.
It's clear.
Yeah. I mean, they make fun of Joe, too, like when he was president. I thought Jim Carrey did a fantastic Joe Biden.
Me too. And that's the thing about comedy is you're supposed to be able to laugh at yourself. You're supposed to be able to jab each other a little,
Yeah. I jab Nick all the time. He's still here,
I am. Yeah. I'm a glutton for punishment.
One of the skits on the 50th anniversary show was that fantastic character, Debbie Downer by Rachel Dratch. And she, they brought it back for the 50th anniversary. And she's in a scene with Robert De Niro, because of course he's there. It's like everybody on earth is there.
Yeah.
And they did this in a fantastic scene, but in one of the parts, they start talking about nanoplastics, which by random stance is exactly what we were going to get into today. And Tiff, we got a little clip of that. Will you play that?
Yeah.
Kind of surprised you want a straw.
Why's that?
Microplastics. At this point, we're all walking landfills. Odds are they've already taken up residence in your testes.
Oh, we laugh, but unfortunately, I think some of that is true. What a fantastic clip.
Oh, my goodness.
Folks, strap in. And unfortunately, this culture section is not going to be a lot of fun.
Look at Nick.
Look at Nick. Like, he's already sweating, dude. But
hang on a second. Okay.
He needs a drink.
It's a little grim.
It's a little grim. But Tiff, go for it.
Okay. Microplastics and nanoplastics, as we all know, are microscopic pieces of plastic that come and go, right? They leach out of landfills, they get into the ground, they get into the groundwater, which gets into the irrigation of our agriculture because now nanoplastics and microplastics have been found in cows and pigs and chickens everywhere, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, and they're carried in the air and in the rain and in the environment.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I was not aware.
300 million plastic bottles have fallen every single year into the most remote national parks in America.
Via rain.
And wind.
And oh my
We're talking
space.
We're talking the Grand Canyon.
Oh.
We're talking Craters of the Moon, which is like a super remote national park.
Yeah.
That, yeah. They have been found in the Mariana Trench. But we can't even get to the bottom. They've found nanoplastics down there.
At the bottom of the trench.
Yeah.
Which is the deepest place on Earth. Yeah.
They have found them on Mount Everest.
Oh,
they're
my God.
fucking everywhere.
Okay.
So the last time the levels in the human body have been measured was 2016. And now there's a new study out by the University of New Mexico that in the 8 years that has passed since they have studied the levels in the human body, they have risen by 50%.
Oh, my God.
50.
Oh, my God. So we have 50% more plastic in our bodies than we did just 8 years ago.
8 years ago. And the amount of plastic doubles every 10 to 15 years.
Oh, my God.
Cool.
So if it's only 50% more in the last 8 years, what's it going to be in another 8?
Oh, my God.
In another 10, in another 15.
But what is the amount? Like, what does that even...
You want to know what the amount is?
I
Do you
guess
really
so.
want to know what
No,
the fucking
dude.
amount is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it's a show. Let's do it. Whatever.
So they're in every single one of your organs. They're found in newborn babies. They're found in placentas. They're found in your breast milk. They're found and she's right, in your balls. They're fucking everywhere. The organ with the highest concentration of nanoplastics and microplastics is the brain.
What?
Yeah. Yep. And they're getting into the body has this cool thing called the blood-brain barrier. And it's like nothing gets in. Like you have to be an Army Ranger to get through the blood-brain barrier. Like it's water, oxygen, fats, caffeine, alcohol, soluble things, right?
Right.
Well, fat and plastic love each other. Have you ever tried to get grease out of your Tupperware?
Oh, right,
It's
right.
like it takes 4 times through the dishwasher,
Yeah, I
right?
know,
Like
right,
it's fucking
yeah.
hard. So they attach to each other, and that's how they think the nanoplastics are getting into the brain. They're attaching to the fat cells and getting through the blood-brain barrier. So now they're measuring the levels in the body, right? In your brain, you have the equivalent of an entire plastic spoon.
What?
Right now. This
Wow.
in invisible plastic has accumulated and lodged in here.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Look how much that is.
A whole plastic
An entire plastic spoon. And Alzheimer and dementia patients have up to 10 times that amount. They got 10 fucking
Really?
spoons in their no wonder they can't fucking concentrate.
Oh,
No wonder they
my
can't.
God.
And they don't know if do they have dementia and Alzheimer's because of the plastic? Or is the plastic building up in the brain because the dementia and the Alzheimer's thins out the blood-brain barrier, and that's why they're getting so much more? They don't know. Is it chicken? Is it egg? They don't fucking know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, well, God, you know what's fun? You know what's funny is, right, exactly, Nick. What's funny is I do feel like over the years, like in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, I was fine. In the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, I realize I'm getting older, but like I feel like I'm just
sludgy.
I'm a little sludgy, man. Okay.
And they don't know how adverse this is going to affect our health as we go into the future. And they think the number one way that we are ingesting these plastics is from the meat supply, from it leaking out of landfills so all the diapers that us Gen X wore, all those plastic fucking water bottles, plastic bag, all that shit is deteriorating and getting into the groundwater. And there's nothing being done.
Oh my God.
There's no way to stop it. They have to dispose of plastic waste in a different way. And the only other way is incineration, right? Well, you can't burn plastic. It's toxic.
Oh my God.
So we have to invest and research ways that we can get rid of plastic. Otherwise, it's just, even if we stopped using every plastic cutting board right now, we got rid of everything plastic, first generation plastics, they call them, your takeout containers, your all of these things, right? Even if you stopped using them today, that has nothing to do with the generation of nanoplastics that is leaching into our bodies right now.
Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not fucking kidding. And the doctor...
Go ahead, Nick.
We could solve two problems with one solution. Take Elon Musk and SpaceX and zoom all of them and the plastic into outer space.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Shoot them into outer space.
I mean, that's the only way. You have to put it into space. This is a fucking ass problem.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's a spoon in my brain.
The doctor who ran this study, Dr. Matthew Campen, here he is talking about exactly how dire it is.
I think the UN goal is to eliminate plastic usage by 2040. Well, we still have billions of tons in the ground turning into microplastics. We haven't dented that growth at all. So my fear is that over the next 20 to 40 years, we're going to see double, triple, quadruple the amount of plastics in our bodies, and there will be health effects that stem from that.
Oh my God. So he's saying...
Haven't even made a dent.
Oh my God. So he's saying there's billions of tons already in the ground.
Yeah.
And the UN wants to end it by 2040, but by then we'll have, he said, billions more.
Yeah. And right now, there is 8 billion tons of plastic waste already on the planet.
8 billion tons.
That is 1 ton for every single human being on Earth.
God.
And plastic is going to double every 10 to 15 years. Then it's a plastic planet.
Nick.
Then here's the problem is that there is no capitalist incentive for curbing this. Right. I mean, and as Trump and Musk try and, from the United States at least, try and cut all these programs that are designed to help, stem environmental pollution, and they're going to slice and dice the EPA. Those are the kinds of agencies that are designed to help us safeguard, or at least try and prepare against threats like this to our health. But it's going the other direction. They want to cut those, and then they want to deregulate industry to make them as highly profitable as possible. And like, what's the incentive for a billionaire to stop using plastics in their packaging or whatever? I mean, it feels like a problem that's like intractable at this point, which is really depressing.
Yeah. Getting off plastics right now, it's great. The world does not need another plastic cutting board, right?
Right.
Do what you can. But your plastic water bottles and things like that is your children and your grandchildren's generation that's not going to be dealing with nanoplastics. So you're taking a responsibility for your future. Right now, like he said, unless we somehow revolutionize plastic disposal, not a lot we can do. The other number one thing he said is remove meat and fat from your diet.
Right.
That will mitigate your exposure.
And then here comes Republicans going, they're trying to take your cheeseburgers from you. You know what I mean? It's just like, here we go.
Yeah.
I wonder how much plastic we're ingesting every week or something,
You want to know what the cherry is on this shit Sunday?
Yeah.
Americans every week ingest up to 5 grams of plastic per week. That is this much. That is 1 credit card.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Just like, whoop.
We eat an entire credit card's worth of plastic in a week?
In a week. Up to. So it could be, okay, say it's a fourth of a credit card. You're eating plastic, bro. It's like, no, and people are like, the food doesn't taste the same. Well, no shit. It's fucking covered in plastic. And so are you.
Jesus Christ. Man.
So I know we wanted a sunny news day, but
let's start drinking again,
Because there's plastic in that.
Sorry, audience. Oh, there is 100% surely plastic in my beer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're telling us this. We need to know this crap, because if we're not aware of the facts, we're just going to hide. And again, I feel so sorry for Gen Z, Gen Alpha, coming up. I mean, folks, And that's the other thing too. Let me just say this on a personal note. Like when you hear like politicians say things like, oh, we want to do it for our grandchildren and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, do you? Like honestly, do you want to do things that help future generations? Do you really care about your babies and your grandbabies and stuff like that? Do you really? Then why are you acting like a berserk, crazy maniac right now and allowing things like this to happen?
I think it's really easy to say that you want to do things for your grandchildren and when you're a Republican, but when you realize how much of an inconvenience that's going to be for you personally, they're like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
They're not going to make their lives harder so somebody else's life is easier. That's what Democrats do. That's not what Republicans do.
Yeah. Boy,
it's all about the free market and capitalism. I mean, that's what's driving this. So
yeah, and I'll just say real quick, we have some very close friends who live very close to here in Portland, and they got a notice saying out of nowhere there are now nanoplastics in their drinking water,
in their fucking water,
and they told them, they said if you boil it, it makes it worse.
Makes it worse.
It makes it worse.
So they send us this like water report or whatever, and tiny print. It's like, you should just be drinking bottled plastic water this entire time. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, what? And not only that, you think I want to drink water out of plastic?
A plastic bottle? Aren't I making the problem worse by doing that?
Nick, hold me.
And like, aren't you guys in charge?
Hold me.
I wish I could, Jim.
Oh, cradle me, Nick. Cradle me.
Poor guy.
Wow. Listen, that's what this show is for. We're here to expose the truth, man. Well, thank you for that, Tiffany. That was
You're welcome.
Listen.
Hey, you took my Doomsday banner and you took it over to your desk. I appreciate that.
I did.
Folks, only this show can go from SNL to nanoplastics killing us in one segment.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, all right. We're all trauma bonding together, and if you can't laugh through it, you're going to go fucking crazy.
That's right. But now it's time to hear from you guys, everyone who has called the People's Hotline. And by the way, just a reminder, a little scheduling note. From now on, there is a new show on Sundays. It's a whole nother Dangerous Ones episode where we are just playing your calls. I heard somebody in the comments too. Somebody goes like, they put the timestamp. They go like, oh, really? The whole show is our calls? I mean, we're going to have a little banter in the beginning, and then it will just be calls.
We're not doing the whole news culture danger.
Yeah.
It's just
It's just the People's Hotline.
I'm sorry for not being clear.
Clear. I'm kidding, anyways. But
we've done this like 4 times. Like we're working on it.
We're massaging it. I blame Nick.
No,
can we blame Nick? He's not
totally my fault.
Yeah, totally.
Totally my fault. Yeah.
Anyhow, so on Sundays, every Sunday is just going to be the People's Hotline calls, and we're super excited. We'll have another one this Sunday, and but here, let's get into a little danger.
Ooh.
Danger O-U-S. Let's get dangerous. Danger O-U-S.
Tiffany, who's first?
Our first caller is Erin, and she's calling from a blue state, and she has some tips with how to resist with your wallet. What's going on here?
Hey there. I wanted to thank you for your podcast and wanted to offer a suggestion. I'm calling from a true blue state, and although my representatives are doing all they can, and actually doing all they can, not just hand-wringing, there's not a lot more I can do, not a lot more people I can call, but I just had a thought. I try to vacation in Maine most years, and I love it there. And Susan Collins is not standing up for the people, so I canceled my vacation. Sent her a note to let her know that I did it because of her. So maybe those of us in blue states can show a little bit of economic impact to those in red states by just choosing not to visit. That's my thought. Thanks. Bye.
I love that.
Me too.
Erin,
well, and I think that absolutely great. And I think the key part of that is being as loud about that decision as possible. So making sure that Susan Collins knows that you made that decision, making sure that other people in Maine know that you are depriving them of your financial resources and your tourism because of the decisions that she's making. then just being as loud as possible on social media too, no, it's super cool.
Yeah, and I would say that Tiff and I have kind of followed that same message in the last 8 years or so. We've I'm not going to be vacationing anytime in Texas ever since that abortion ruling. And, it's just, there's certain things you're just not going to do. I want to see Austin super bad.
Yeah.
But I might have to wait a few years.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to boycott a bunch of shit, but I have to.
That's
because
right.
You have to stand on it.
You got to stand on something, man, or we're just going to keep going down the dark road. Thank you, Aaron, for the call. Thank you for being a supporter of this podcast. It truly means a lot to us. Tiffany, who is next?
Our next caller is Gwen from California, and she has some thoughts about what it takes to overthrow an authoritarian threat and some words of encouragement.
Hi, this is Gwen from California, and I just want to remind everybody that research from Erica Chenoweth shows that you need just 3.5% of the population to be actively engaged in prolonged civil, nonviolent protest to overthrow an authoritarian regime. So come on, people, that's only 1 in 30 of your friends, family, and neighbors, or 3.5 out of 100. And, so I guess the 0.5 could be your 4-year-old toddler or something, but maybe you could add 3.5 and 3.5 together and get 7 out of 50. Is that right? Something like that. So, or is it 7 out of 200? I'm not good at math, but anyway. It's doable. It's doable. Get off the couch. Get out in the streets. It's not that hard. And you can do like a tag team, so some days someone in your group of 30 is marching and, another day somebody else is. So let's do it. We can do it. This is doable. Come on. All right. Bye.
I love it, Gwen. Yeah. Absolutely. It's right. It doesn't take a lot of us to make a big difference. And Nick, you can speak to that. I mean, the work you do with Demcast every day.
Yeah, no, we can have an outsized impact, especially in digital spaces where, a single post can go viral and we can mutually amplify each other. But and that is honestly the town square at this point. So making a big impact online is definitely something that we can all do, being very vocal and not pulling punches. But also the in-person stuff, it is going to take some in-person demonstration and resistance to topple a burgeoning dictatorship. And we have to mentally prepare ourselves for that fact and get involved where we can.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, great call from Gwen.
Really great.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your support, and thanks for calling. Folks, if you want to call, do it at 503-212-4600, 503-212-4600. Tiffany, who's next?
Our next caller is Noelle from Michigan. And she's got some really great things to say about our trans brothers and sisters out there. And she ends it with a great poem.
Hello, Plastics, and hello, Knutson. My name is Noel, and I'm from Michigan. I decided to call and vent because I can't fucking sleep. Why can't I sleep, you might ask? Well, I was minding my own fucking business when a little message just popped up on my screen that informed me that fucking revolting, abominable, hateful, creepy, loathsome, repugnant, gross, hideous, vile, repellent, rotten pile of fermenting excrement and his obscene congregation of obedient fools have decided to remove the T and the Q from LGBTQ from all front-facing public material at the Stonewall Memorial. The Stonewall riots, as most people will know, were started by a transgender woman by the name of Marsha P. Johnson. I am a trans woman myself, so obviously I was fucking devastated by that article. So I just wanted to let these motherfucking Nazis, let them know that trans people have existed from the beginning of time, and they will exist until the end of time. You can't just fucking erase us, you malignant tumor of a human being. You fucking leech on society. Anyway, I'm going to end my rant with a little poem I wrote. Here it is. Roses are red, violets are blue, Trump is a cunt, and Elon is too. Okay, that's my rant. Ta-ta.
Thank you, Noel.
Wow, Noel.
I know.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Coming in with lyrics and everything. I have to be honest, I did not know that about the removing the letters. I mean, fuck
That's disgusting.
you.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's happening is we're all going along just like Noel, minding our own fucking business. And then you get a little thing on your phone. You're like, fuck, what?
Oh my good grief.
From the Stonewall's
and
Memoriam?
That's really disgusting. There's so much intent in that. There's so much intentful erasure in that action that is extremely troubling and absolutely revolting. I mean, every single epithet that Noel had, to describe all of that is right on point. And I had not heard that. That's absolutely terrible.
Just terrible, and we need to be aware of these things. Again, it's like every fucking day, it's another nightmare. It's 5 nightmares every single day. It's another 5 new nightmares. I mean, in this show alone, we opened up with how they're blowing up, everything financial, the FAA, all that stuff.
I won't even bring my phone over with me because I can't even, whenever it goes, bzz, bzz, I can't. Yeah. I can't know what's happening.
And then we go into the nanoplastics that's literally rotting in all of our brains and in our brand new children, babies' brains. And then now we're finding out Trump and Elon and those guys are all trying to take out a couple of letters out of what are you?
What the fuck?
Fuck you, man.
Okay.
Another thing.
Cool, as Nick says.
Yeah, we gotta fight this, man.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiff, do we have one more?
We do. We're going to end on this really great call from Shelly in Central New York, and she's got a little something to say about all that as well.
Hi, I'm Shelly from New York State, Central New York State, and I just would like to list for you the groups of people who are now dead to me. Trump voters. Especially voters who voted for Obama and then voted for Trump the first time, then voted for Biden, and then voted for Trump again. People who voted for abortion rights in their own state, but voted for Trump for president. People who voted for Jill Stein. People who voted, in quotes, their conscience, whatever the fuck that means. People who voted for Biden but didn't vote at all in the 2024 election. People who didn't vote for Kamala because she didn't appear on the Joe Rogan show. People who didn't vote for Kamala because they just couldn't vote for a woman, especially a woman of color. All of you, you're all dead to me. Thank you very much.
Well, Shelly from New York, I have to say that I understand the frustration and I understand the anger. And I know Tiff and I differ a little. That's the beauty of the show. Tiff and I differ a little bit from Nick. We're still angry over here, Nick. I know that you're a little. We got to let him back in the camp. Yeah. I know Nick, and Nick is right. I mean, we got obviously we need to accept these people back who go. You know what? I was fucking wrong because we all make mistakes, and I get that. But I'm still in the anger phase with Shelly, Nick.
Totally understandable. It's not that I'm not angry. I just, because of my role at Demcast, I'm just always thinking of stuff from a messaging standpoint. And, ultimately, we have to win some of those people back if democracy is going to survive. So I'm just kind of a realist about it. But I totally get, in terms of just the cathartic feel, fuck you guys. Like, it's not like Trump was super bashful about telling us what his plans were. He was pretty honest about it, and he's literally doing all of it. And B, like, have you been paying attention for the last 15 years in American politics at all? Like,
Yeah. Excellent point. What were your thoughts on Shelley?
Shelley, I love Shelley. And as I'm listening to her, and then I'm also listening to Noelle, you can hear them, like, you can hear the catharsis taking place as they, like, even Noelle at the end, she took a big sigh. She was like, huh.
Right, yeah.
Shelley at the end, she's like, that's what I have to say. You're all dead to me. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
You can hear them like, I'm so glad I got that off my chest.
Absolutely. Shelley makes a pretty good point on some of those that she was saying. I was like, God, yeah, right. I'm like, right.
Check.
Yes, check.
Yes, check. Yeah.
But right after the election, Tiff and I mean, no question, I'm not lying to anybody. We wanted to burn it all down after the election. I didn't want to make videos anymore. I was ready to, and then you wake up the next day, you dust yourself off and you go, okay, I gotta get back to fucking work.
Yeah. I didn't come all this way to just come all this way.
Yeah.
Well,
fantastic call from Shelley. Fantastic calls from everybody. Thank you, everybody who called the People's Hotline. We're going to have a lot more calls on the Sunday edition. We promise we'll get to a whole bunch more. We promise. Thank you, Nick, for zooming in from California. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Tiffany, for telling us about the nanoplastics.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go to bed thinking about it. I got a fucking spoon
thanks
in my
so
head.
much.
Like, how much is in my cat right now?
Yeah. Good God. It's in the whiskey.
I don't even want it on my table.
I know, God, I know. And thank you at home or wherever you are for listening or watching on YouTube. I am telling you from the bottom of my heart, and I speak for Nick and I speak for Tiffany, we can't thank you enough for listening to this podcast and supporting this podcast. It truly means a lot to us. We're not perfect. We're going to get better as time goes on. I'm having so much fun doing this show, and we have so much more stuff planned. There's so much more going to come out. Stick with us. Stay part of the family. Well, too bad. You're already in. You're part of the family now.
Too late.
Stuck with us.
You're stuck with us, and we can't thank you enough. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you Sunday.
Bye.
The shots been fired, but the war